Hello, everyone. Welcome along. It's a very special betting weekly WTA show with me and Nigel Seeley, and our WTA handicapper is Rory Jiwani. It's Olympic week. It's Sunday. You'll have to check your clocks. It's Olympic week, so that means we're coming to you live from Paris and Croatia, all across Europe, to give you the best bets on the Olympic women's singles, which start tomorrow. Rory, you're over there. Rory, you're over there in Paris. How are things? How's the build-up? Is it getting exciting for the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my hotel right now, and I'm near Charles de Gaulle Airport. Any of you that know Paris, so actually quite a long way out of Paris. So I'm not seeing any Eiffel Tower out the window. I've got air traffic control towers, but yeah, it's nice, and it's nice to escape Madrid because it was 40 degrees in Madrid when I was there last, and here it's much more civilized, sort of. So 40 degrees, which is in the hundreds in Fahrenheit for our American viewers. Here it's more like sort of mid-20s Celsius, so that's sort of mid-70s, high 70s Fahrenheit. And we had a bit of rain this morning, which felt quite nice. So yeah, it's yeah, I've been sort of I'm commentating here, so really looking forward to that. And yeah, everything you've got, all the sort of banners and signs. It's pretty obvious that the Olympics are here, and we've got the opening ceremony tonight. So yeah, looking forward to that. We've got the tennis, which all starts tomorrow. Most of the sports get underway tomorrow. We've had a bit of rugby sevens and football and handball and some archery yesterday and the day before. But obviously, once the opening ceremony is done with, the Olympics really get started.
Yep, no, I'm selling new mag, as you see by the backdrop. It's beautiful sunny conditions here. See the grapes on the little grapes up there for the vines. It's beautiful, very picturesque, really nice. I thought I'd give you a little look at behind. There might be a bit of traffic behind me, so I apologise if there's any sound with the guys. A little road before we get to the port behind me, but just thought I'd give you a little backdrop here. You said there's a bit of rain around. I mean, obviously the tournament, the women's tournament, is being played at Roland-Garros. Is it going to be anything different to the conditions that we see at the end of May, June, when the French Open comes to town?
Not really. In terms of court conditions, it's going to be similar, fairly slow. I think the weather was quite nice around about May for the French Open. We did have a bit of fixture congestion because we did have some rain delays. But I think the main thing to note, the important thing to note, as far as obviously we're concentrating on the women's singles, we all look at the women's doubles. When we're looking at the singles, is that there are a lot of players who are playing doubles as well. So that is the likes of Jasmine Paolini, finalist in the French Open, Wimbledon. She's playing doubles with Sara Errani. Barbara Krejcikova, defending Wimbledon champion, she's playing doubles with her old partner, Katerina Siniakova. They're defending Olympic champions. Coco Gauff, of course, the flag bearer for the United States with LeBron James. She's playing singles, women's doubles with Jess Pegula, and she's playing mixed doubles with Taylor Fritz. And there's a load of pressure on her because, she's talked about she wants to play all three. She wants to win medals in all three. If there's a bit of rain, and, we've got some rain due tomorrow when it gets started. We've also got a lot of rain due on Wednesday. So the scheduling is going to be, it could get really complicated. So on Wednesday, you've got the women's singles quarterfinals and the women's doubles quarterfinals on the same day. And on the Thursday, you've got the women's singles semis and the women's doubles semis on the same day. Now, the organisers, I'm sure, will do their best to avoid, players having to play singles and doubles on the same day earlier in the week. But later in the week, it's unavoidable. So it's clay. You can get 3-hour epics quite easily on clay. So all it takes is a bit of rain congestion, 1 or 2 3-hour matches, and then you're in a, you've got a player who can't really, will have to drop something, or they're going to be so tired that they won't be able to perform at their best. And it's it's the Olympics. Will Gauff want to necessarily pull out of the mixed doubles and end Taylor Fritz's chances of a medal? Perhaps. She'll be, there'll be a bit of pressure on her to keep playing, even though, she's in 2 other competitions potentially. So, those things make things a little more problematic and difficult. No such problems for Iga Swiatek, though, who's obviously the 4-time French Open champion and so dominant at Roland-Garros. She was due to play mixed doubles with Hubert Hurkacz but he's picked up an injury in the last few weeks. So Swiatek, it's just the singles for her, which probably makes her task that bit easier.
So is it a question of Iga Swiatek wins? Thank you very much for joining the shows. Thanks very lot. See you later.
I think so. I mean, she does. She could meet Yelena Ostapenko in the quarterfinals, and of course, she hasn't beaten her in 4 attempts. But even then, it's Roland-Garros. I can't see Ostapenko beating Swiatek at Roland-Garros. I can't see anyone beating her, to be honest. So if you think Swiatek's a good thing, normally we'd be looking at each way betting, but for the Olympics, we've got top 3 betting. So, that's actually very interesting from a betting perspective. So like we did at Roland-Garros this year, we thought Iga Swiatek's going to win it, so we're going to look for someone at a big price in the bottom half. And obviously, Jasmine Paolini did that. So here, that's obviously a play. You're looking at someone to get to the final from the bottom half. But also, because you've got 3rd place as well, you have the losing semi-finalist from the top half, assuming Swiatek wins. So Swiatek will face someone from the 2nd quarter in the semi-finals. So you can pick someone in that 2nd quarter. They'll lose to Swiatek, but then they'll have the bronze medal match. It's not like boxing and combat sports at the Olympics where the losing semi-finalists both get bronze. Here, you have to play off for bronze. So whoever loses to Swiatek in that semi-final gets a go at bronze and then can land that top 3 bet. So it's actually, quite interesting from a betting perspective.
Yep, head across the BetRivers website. You'll be able to see all those special markets, not only to win the market, but also to get a medal, essentially, top 3 to get a medal. Yeah. So you'll get a medal, you'll be able to get a price on that. The one thing, we're talking about Iga Swiatek, she's so dominant. I'm going to come on to some stats in a minute to show what she is here at Roland-Garros. But the one thing about it is that if you look back over the previous years, especially on the men's Olympics winners, since the tennis was involved in the Olympics, it's not necessarily the big names that win it. And there was a question mark up until recently where the big guys or the big players didn't really fancy it. So, how important is it to players to win the Olympics? Is it up there with the major? Is it up there with a 1,000 event? Where do you see the Olympics in the pecking order of women's tennis?
It's a strange one because it's definitely grown in popularity, importance, whatever you want to call it, over the years. I remember Nicola Massou, I think, winning gold quite a few years back for Chile.
I think Mark Rosset got to the final as well. That's nothing, but I think he got Olympic semi-finalists or finals. Crazy.
Yeah. So I think Fernando Gonzalez got to the final as well. So, it's one of those tournaments that, there are some players who really want to do well, like Novak Djokovic really wants to win Olympic gold. It's the only thing he's missing. Iga Swiatek, there's special incentive for her. Her father was an Olympic rower at Seoul 1988. And I think I said in the Wimbledon preview that I thought for her, the Olympic tournament was more of a priority this year than Wimbledon. She didn't have any grass court warm-ups. She played Wimbledon, obviously didn't get very far there. And because now she's back on clay. Because the Olympics is such a big thing for her. We've seen other players like Aryna Sabalenka, Ons Jabeur, Emma Raducanu. They're not playing at the Olympic Games. They've chosen not to. They're going to be playing in Washington, which starts on Monday. So it's kind of, and we saw yesterday, just after the draw was made, Elena Rybakina pulled out with injury, and you wonder, with her injury record, that's very possible. But also there might be an element of, this is Roland-Garros. This is not my strongest surface. Maybe I'll just conserve myself for the rest of the season, because it's a massive, massive bit of the season coming up. You've got the American hardcourt, a couple of 1,000s. You've got the one in Canada and Cincinnati. And then you've got the US Open. So the timing is difficult in some respects. Some players, obviously, after Wimbledon, you've had the grass court season. Now they're having to go back to clay and then back to hard court, whereas it would be easier to go from the grass to the hard courts. But obviously some are changing their schedule. Someone like Karolina Muchova, who's just come back from injury, she said, I really want to do well at Wimbledon and the Olympic Games. So it differs for the players. As I say, for Swiatek, massive incentive for her. She really wants to win this one. And the others, of course, playing for your country does mean something. You go back to last year's Billie Jean Cup. Leylah Fernandez was unbeatable. Canada won it. She was unbeaten all week in the finals. She was fantastic, and we did see a shock in Rio. Monica Puig from Puerto Rico winning gold from absolutely nowhere, beating Kerber and Kvitova, and that was a stunning triumph. So you do get surprises, but I think it being at Roland-Garros, it's all set up for Iga Swiatek.
Yep, she's very dominant in the betting. We're going to give you the breakdown of the draw. We'll give you some stats on Iga Swiatek. She's won 21 consecutive matches at Roland-Garros. Her last loss was on June the 9th, 2021, which is 1,143 days ago. She's got the incentive of her father being an Olympian, and she also has no commitments in the doubles. So it's very, very hard to see who is going to beat her. If we look at the draw, Rory, listen to the draw. It's a 64-woman event. There's 16 seeds, and the top half of the draw in Q1. If it goes to seedings, we have Swiatek against Schneider, but Swiatek's faces to start off against Begu, which is hard. She also plays Noskova, who's beaten her before. Ostapenko has got a great record her against Collins, will be the other match in that first quarter. So the quarterfinal could be Swiatek v Ostapenko. The second quarter is anybody's. Garcia's come in to replace Rebecca. You've got Osaka, you've got Kerber, you've got Fernandez, you've got Muchova, and Navarro and Kenwin Zheng is in the Q2. In the bottom half, we have Pegula against Krejcikova, the Wimbledon champion. Also got Svitolina in there. It's all about people who are going to be motivated for their country. The Ukrainians will be very, very motivated here. And she's got a big support in Paris, obviously, with her partner, Gael Monfils, as well. Haddad Maia and Paolini. But also in that quarter, we've had Andreeva in the second round from Paolini. We have Zachary Kostyuk and Vekic against Goff, but Goff is playing a lot of tennis, and the pressure on her. She's the flag bearer. She's going to be the limelight. She's up there now, and I'm not quite sure. I know she won the US Open, but I'm not quite sure whether she's a young lady who will be able to handle that kind of pressure from a nation in such expectancy to get to the final. And if she does get to the final, she has an awful record against Iga Swiatek. Before we go on to the odds, the draw, any sort of preference on the draw? Is there any top half, bottom half, second quarter? I think it's Q2. Obviously, if you're looking for someone to get to the bronze medal match, Q2 is probably where you might want to find someone at a big price.
You might, but it's difficult, isn't it? It's a really difficult quarter. I mean, Qinwen Zheng, she won in Palermo last week. She beat Muchova in the final. I mentioned Fernandez and her Billie Jean King Cup exploits. Emma Navarro knocked out Coco Gauff at Wimbledon. Naomi Osaka, I couldn't really have on clay. I mean, she did push. She almost ended that Iga Swiatek unbeaten record at Roland-Garros, obviously under the roof in, I think it was round 2 this year. And she plays Angelique Kerber, who, as you say, is retiring. Her and Andy Murray deciding to call it a day at these games. And Caroline Garcia, who knows, the home crowd could motivate her to great things. So that's a really difficult quarter. I'm inclined to look at the bottom half for one at a price. And in that third quarter, we could easily have a rematch of the Wimbledon final between Krejcikova and Paolini. That would be very interesting. Fourth quarter, I want to avoid Goff for because she is going to be playing a lot of tennis. She is a short price as well, and she's not going to beat Swiatek in the final. I think as you said, her record against her isn't good enough. I mean, who has got, apart from Ostapenko, who has got a good record against Swiatek, especially on clay. So I'm tempted by that fourth quarter, someone at a price. You've got Maria Sakkari, who's out of form. She split with her new coach. She started working with David Witt, who was Jess Pegula's old coach. They split up not long ago. Marta Kostyuk is seeded, never really done it on clay. Donna Vekic obviously reached the semis at Wimbledon. she is capable on clay, but not someone really to trust. And Yulia Putintseva's in that quarter, who's having the season of her life, and obviously knocked out Swiatek at Wimbledon. So there are some real dangers in that fourth quarter at big prices as well.
Well, let's have a look at some of the runners and riders. And these are the latest odds with Bet Rivers. Now, the first price in the column is to win the gold medal. So to win the Olympic gold, we have Iga Swiatek at -$2. But to win any medal, she's -$5. Goff is +600, +110. Andreeva is 16 to 1, +280 to win a medal. Osaka 16, +320. Then we have Pegula 18, 320. Krejcikova 25, a former French Open champion and the current Wimbledon champion, 25 and +375 to win a medal. Ostapenko, we know she's got that amazing record against Iga Swiatek. She's 30 to 1 to win it and 8 to 1 to win a medal. Zhang 30 to 1 +550 for a medal. Svitolina 33 to 1 and 5 to 1 to win a medal. Collins 40, Navarro 40, and Garcia with that home support, which has always been a hindrance to the very talented French woman. She's 50 to 1 and 7 to 1 to win a medal. Just one question before we look at your odds and give you. Just going to go back to Goff, because obviously since the American Hope, this is an American sports book that we're promoting here. We know that the handle is going to be heavy on Goff. If they said to Goff now, you can win an Olympic gold medal, or you can win win a Masters Series event on the American hardcourt and defend your US Open title, what would she take?
I don't know. I mean, I think she'd be quite happy. US Open. I think she'd be quite happy to win one of the doubles golds, especially with Swiatek there. I think she realizes she probably doesn't have a great. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she thinks she can beat Swiatek in the singles, but with her and Pegula in the doubles, her and Taylor Fritz in the mixed, she's probably got more chance in both of those than toppling Swiatek, I would think. I think she'd take the Olympic gold, to be honest.
Really, I'm surprised, because I think she's got the. I worry about burning herself out over the pressure on her. She's going to be in every media attention on her. The flag bearer. She's going to be the girl of the American hopes, and I've got a feeling she's coming into a very, very important time of her career and very, very important period of the season. And I just worry that she might burn herself out. So, she can't win. I can't see her unless Swiatek gets beat early doors. She can't win the gold. But anyway. Now, enough about Goff. Where's the money? Where are we going? Where are we going to go for the value?
Yeah. Do you know what? I keep getting drawn. Well, there are two players I've been drawn to. One I have mentioned, one I haven't. In that fourth quarter, I think the fourth quarter is the one to look for. I mentioned, see, a lot of players do have doubles engagement. So Krejcikova's back with Siniakova. They're the reigning Olympic champions. They did split last year. But they're back together. They actually played this week. They're playing this week in Prague. I'm not sure how they got on exactly. But they're favourites in the women's doubles. So, and Krejcikova is one of those players who, especially on clay, doesn't win matches easily. It seems she usually has to work a bit. She might have to work a bit first round against Sara Sorribes Tormo, who we know the Spaniard loves a battle on clay, and she's a real old school pusher. And Paolini as well. She's with Sara Errani in the doubles. So those two. I mean, you mentioned Krejcikova's price, which is eye-catching to some extent, but she's not going to win it. I'm thinking Swiatek is a good thing. I do think she's a good thing here. So Krejcikova +375 to win a medal. I'm not sure. I am drawn to players in that fourth quarter. One I've mentioned who's a really big price is Yulia Putintseva. Said beats Swiatek at Wimbledon. She's been playing very well this year. Had a good clay court season. She's +$100. She's $100 to win the tournament. She's not going to win the tournament, but she's $20 to win a medal, and I think that's a very big price. She's got Marta Kostyuk first round. She wins that. She faces Clara Burel or Katerina Siniakova. After that, probably Maria Sakkari. That's not a bad route through to the quarterfinals, and then she'd probably face possibly Goff Or the other player I'm interested in is Bianca Andreescu, who obviously she's had so many injury problems down the years, but she showed plenty when she came back at Roland-Garros this year. And she's obviously she's won a slam. I just get the feeling this occasion might bring the best out of her. She's got Clara Towson first round. That won't be easy. And then either Vekic or Lucia Bronzetti second round. You'd expect her to win that. And then it would probably be Goff in round 3. But we've talked about, with Goff, with potential fixture pile-up, just takes one long match and a bit of a weather delay, and suddenly her plans are a bit all over the shop. So Andreescu, what is she? She's $50 to win it. She's not going to win it. $7 to place to win a medal. Quite like that. So my bets, and I'm not going to go crazy because obviously Swiatek should win this. I'm going to go for Putintseva 1 point to win a medal, $20, and Bianca Andreescu 1 point to win a medal at $7.
Yep, that's a nice little play, nice little angle. Obviously, you got that added bonus of getting the medal odds. Not many sports books across America we offering that. It'll just be a very dull winner market, and obviously Iga Swiatek is -$2. So the question is whether you think she's going to win it or she doesn't think she's going to win it. -$2 is not what you're here for. So you want to hear some value plays. So the value plays are those two picks there, Putintseva and Andreescu. If you look at our P&L, we're currently -2 units, but that's going to change because the last time I spoke to Roy was on Sunday, and he gave Magdalena Lett. Sorry, it was. What's her name? I can't remember her name. Magdalena. She's playing Magdalena Frick. Magdalena at 10-1 to win the tournament in Prague. And she is through to the final, and she's actually playing now as we're recording this, so we don't know how she's getting on. So we're going to get at least some of the place money, which will take us into profit going into the Olympics, and hopefully she wins that, take us into a really nice profit going into the Olympics as well. So looking forward to that a little bit later on. So that is the singles draw. Iga Swiatek, worthy favourite, very, very hard to oppose. Her record here is so good. If you want to bet -$2 and that's your style of betting, we're not going to put you off that. Go and take that. But for us, we're looking for a little bit more value. And Andreescu and Putintseva to win a medal are our picks here on the women's singles at the Olympics. Not only is there singles, there's also doubles. It's the first time we ventured into the doubles. And Rory wants to talk about the doubles here. And we'll give you some of the outright prices on the doubles draw. Krejcikova and Siniakova, the defending Olympic champions, are the heavy favourites, +250. But they're a bit rusty. They split up, as you said, Rory. They haven't played for a bit of a while. They have played last week, but like getting the old band together. It takes them a bit of time to sing in tune. Irani and Paolini are 6-1. Goff and Pegula are 7-1. Dabrowski and Fernandez are 9-1. The Canadian duo. Buxa and Torres Tormo 10. Garcia and Parry 14-1. I quite like the French duo here. I think they're going to get a lot of support, and obviously, but if they can hold their nerve together, which is a big question. And Haddad Maia and her opponent and her compatriot are 12-1 in the Brazilian pairing. To be fair, Rory, I haven't followed women's doubles at all in my whole career, and I've been involved in tennis a long, long time. It's something I haven't looked at, but I quite like the French girls here. Garcia and Parry, give it a go, give it a swing, and have a kip. But what are you liking?
Well, I was saying about Krejcikova and Siniakova, I hadn't seen how they got on. I've just looked it up. They won it. They won the tournament, but they've hardly really beaten anyone of note. In the final today, they beat Bethany Mattek-Sands, who's almost as old as I am.
She's older than us.
And Lucy Safarova, who is almost as old as us. The Czech player who reached the French Open final 1 year. So she must have come out of retirement for this tournament. And they've faced Krejcikova and Siniakova in the final. Krejcikova and Siniakova won 6-3, 6-3. So, they've got the band back together. It seems to be working. They're playing the old tunes. But, this is a much deeper field. Looking at the draw, they're in the bottom quarter, obviously. They're number 2 seeds. Goff and Pegula are seeded 1. You'd expect Goff and Pegula to win their quarter. Irani and Paolini are seeded 3, and they're up against Erin Routliffe and Lulu Sun, who, of course, she's the New Zealander who had a great run at Wimbledon. Routliffe's the world number 1 doubles player. She's very good. I think she was born in Canada, or she was based in Canada, but she represents New Zealand. That won't be an easy opener for Irani Paolini, but you'd still expect them to get through. Once they get through that, the winner of that match should go through to the quarterfinals. The third quarter is wide open. The four seeds are Danielle Collins and Desiree Krojic, who's the American, another double specialist. She's been inside the top 10 in doubles. So if they click, they could get through there. But that one looks wide open. But the bottom quarter is interesting because you've got Krejcika and Siniakova. They're up against the Chan sisters, who were big in doubles for many years. I think one of them was partnered with Sania Mirza for quite a while and won slams. Excuse me. But also in that bottom quarter, you've got Gabriela Dabrowski and Leylah Fernandez. Now, I mentioned Fernandez at the Billie Jean Cup. She went the whole week unbeaten in Seville last year. She was fantastic. And in that unbeaten run, she and Dabrowski's normally with Erin Routliffe. They're normally a pair, and they've won plenty together. And Dabrowski's ranked number 3 in doubles. But Dabrowski and Fernandez beat Krejcika and Siniakova in that Billie Jean Cup in the semi-finals, with Canada going on to win the title for the first time. And I said about Fernandez, I think, there's something about her when she's playing for Canada. For her, it brings out the best in her. She showed that last year. She was fantastic in that Billie Jean King Cup run. And Dabrowski and Fernandez look like, I'm pretty sure they're going to meet Krejcika and Siniakova in the quarterfinals, and I'd quite fancy the Canadians' chances. So for me, this is as far as I can tell, this is a win-only market.
Yep.
I'm going to go for the Canadians, Dabrowski and Fernandez at plus 900, 1 point win bet. I think they've got a really good chance. And Krejcika, they are rusty. They've had 1 week back together. But the last time they played before that week was that Billie Jean King Cup semi-final when they lost to the Canadian pair. And I think with Dabrowski and Fernandez, I don't expect Fernandez to go that deep in the singles. She might go on a run, but I think in the double, she's got a real chance with Dabrowski. So I fancy the Canadian pair there.
There it is. Dabrowski and Fernandez, 9-1 with Bet Rivers to oppose the favourites, Krejcika and Siniakova. They've got, when you get an old band together, you go, when the worst thing you ever hear an old band, you go see the Rolling Stones and they're all back together and everyone's excited. They play Jumping Jack Flash, they play Brown Sugar, they play Satisfaction. And then the worst words you can hear at any concert when you see an old band. Now we're going to play you a new track.
No, exactly. So it's not what you want.
Everybody goes to the toilet. The toilet queues are absolutely rubber. And that's we want to hear what Krejcika and Siniakova have got from their new album. We don't think it's going to be much. So we're going to oppose with Dabrowski and Fernandez at 9-1. We give you 2 picks there to win a medal at big prices on the women's singles as well. Iga Swiatek, obviously, very heavy favourite, and we expect her to win again and extend her fantastic record at Roland-Garros. There's plenty more to come here on Betting Weekly. WTA, myself and Rory back on Sunday, looking ahead to the 500 event this week in Washington. Really surprised on Jabeur. I mentioned that. I'm really surprised she decided to play there. The Tunisian rather play the Olympics. It's all about someone who's very passionate about our country. I'm really surprised, and someone who can go well on clay. Really surprised by that. We'll look at the tournaments coming up. Also, as well, you can download the podcast Betting Weekly WTA. It's tennis all the way now here on Betting Weekly Studios on YouTube until the soccer seasons resume across Europe in about 4 weeks from now. So it's a real busy period. Rory, if anyone wants to follow your stuff on the Olympics, I know you're busy doing a lot of tipping pieces and a lot of coverage on the Olympic channel. Where can they get you on Twitter or anywhere they can follow your work during the next couple of weeks over in Paris?
Yeah, I might not be on social media that much in the next couple of weeks. I might be a bit busy, but I'll probably chime in now and then. But I'm at Rory Jiwani. That's my X handle, as I suppose we've got to call it now. It's
don't call it X. Never. Twitter. I can't get that around. It's Twitter.
Twitter. Okay. It's Twitter.
I can't be having next. Anyway, that's it for the day. The Olympics starts. Enjoy the next few weeks, Rory, over there.
Thanks, mate.
Where can we hear you? What are you commentating, and what events are you commentating?
I am. So I'm going to be on the world feed. So I think that will be for most viewers on Discovery Plus.
Lovely.
But I'll be commentating on boxing and weightlifting. So those
lovely
2 sports.
There you go. So hopefully we can get the cash, the tickets on the tennis, and listen out for Rory's dulcet tones across Discovery Plus. Thank you very much for your time, Rory. I really appreciate you coming on to this very special. I know it's not ideal, you over there in Paris in the hotel room, and me with this road behind me with cars going by. But thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the Olympics. Head across the Bet Rivers for all the best odds on the women's Olympics, singles, doubles, and also the men's as well. And we'll be back again on Sunday looking into the 500 event stateside in Washington. Take care.